a lot of investment has been made in the girl child. And what we're seeing today is a more empowered woman, is a more...
Because there's a lot of denial. No, this is how a man should be. This is how a woman should be.
We are upgrading everything else but our marriage, the skills
in our
to run in our marriages. How do you actually measure value?
This money thing can actually build you or kill you. There is a lot of unmarried money, single money in marriage. We can blame money as much as we can. Money is as innocent as can be. It's actually a tool to help us live better. Leadership is not equal to money, who brings in money. So just imagine how chaotic it would be when children grow up like now we have adult children. They bring in more money and they say, by the way, dad and mom dislodged, we are the leaders.
If the way you're treating your spouse with money today, if the circumstances were turned around, would you willingly, gladly, and happily receive the same treatment?
Hello and welcome back to Reality Check. Thank you for joining us. This week we are back again with Dr. Eva Satwine. Not new to you if you are a regular on this channel. This is Reality Check, by the way, and we have conversations around mental health in the areas of family, marriage, the workplace, and your parenting journey. So if that's something that you would find useful, consider making this your home by subscribing, liking this episode, and leaving us a comment. We have a guest also not very new to you. Junior Kwebiha is your marriage counselor now.
Among other things.
Among other things. And he's joining us to have a conversation that is pertinent, like all the conversations on Reality Check. We are going to be talking about when the woman in the relationship is the breadwinner, when you are the one who is making the money and putting food on the table. How do you navigate that dynamic, and how does it change the dynamic in your relationship? And maybe if you are in that situation, this episode is for you. So welcome aboard, and welcome to both of you. Welcome, Dr. Evas.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Junior.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I think a good starting point would be why this conversation is important, and are we seeing more of it in our society today, and maybe why we are noticing it. I don't think it's the first time it's happening in our modern society. So why do you think we should be having this conversation? Why is it important? And why are we seeing more of it in our society and generation?
Thank you.
Thank
you for having me. Always good to be back.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have this conversation for a set of different reasons. Number one is a lot of investment has been made in the girl child,
Yes.
quote unquote, over the last couple of decades. And what we are seeing today is a more empowered woman, is a more, I don't say aggressive, that's the wrong word, more empowered, career-driven. I think they've seen an opportunity in a space there that they've, when you train someone, there's going to be a result. So we are seeing the result of that investment over decades. We are also seeing this because there's an absence of men in learning places. There are very many places that you will go, whether it's going to be in church or it's going to be any conference you go to today. Most of the attendance is going to be women. So sadly, men have taken a step back and are missing from growing at that level. Society is also demanding many things. If you're sitting on boards, they're going to say, how many women do you have on the board? How many women do you have in management? So society has changed. Women have also been invested, have evolved. Women have worked hard. You cannot take that away from them.
Sure.
I really want to, give them their flowers. Women have worked hard. And today we are seeing the fruit of that. But that, for me, this is the fruit of that investment.
Okay.
It is inevitable. We must have this conversation. The generation before ours, maybe not so much, but today it is critical. The generation coming after ours, even more so.
Yeah.
So we must have a real space to have these conversations. And money is one of the biggest reasons that couples are breaking up today, for different reasons, but it's definitely one of the top 3 reasons that couples are separating and divorcing today.
Sure.
So I think for me, those are more than enough reasons to have a very deliberate conversation about it.
Okay. And I think to your point, society is responding to the investment in the girl child, and there being more conversations about lifting up the girl child and for opportunities to be equal, and the same privileges are accorded to men being also accorded to women. So society has responded to that investment, and therefore we must have this conversation, right?
Exactly.
I have entered your conversation, so I'll hand back to Dr. Evans.
I agree with you.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree 100%, and very curious about the statement that my brother made about men not being in the learning spaces and really not paying attention to some of these dynamics and knowing that they need awareness. I love scripture. I can't quote it direct. I think it's in Proverbs, which talks about above everything, get knowledge and get understanding.
Yes.
Very important. And unfortunately, I've just been talking to one of the groups a couple of minutes ago and telling them that marriage is the only institution that people think they can manage without any knowledge and no skill.
Somehow you'll
Yeah,
succeed.
just somehow. And it's dangerous. That's why things are not looking good, and everyone is up in arms. Oh, the devil! Oh, Sijui. It's not the devil. It's because we are not skilled. The Bible talks about a skilled worker, skilled. So I think we just need to talk about it, getting knowledge, getting understanding, but also, Rachel, the fact that family relationships have evolved. Things have changed, and unfortunately, most of us want to live in a world that no longer exists. So somehow we are saying, but the culture, I've been asking people, where is that culture?
Where is it?
it?
Where does it live?
Where is it? Where is that culture? Now, everyone who wants to be selfish runs to culture. You see? And so we need to know that society has evolved. But are we in step with the changing times? Are we in step with the change, or are we in denial? Because there's a lot of denial. No, this is how a man should be. This is how a woman should be. But while we are acquiring the new phone series,
we are not upgrading.
We are upgrading everything. New laptops, new phones, new everything. But somehow relationships should keep there.
They should stay where it's familiar.
Don't you know, it's your role. and specifically, Rachel, the roles. Because when we talk about finances, we are talking about roles also, how they have evolved. They have really, really evolved. And so, again, we can't keep in our comfort zones. So we need to have this conversation. So we help people to step up and embrace the new realities, because the new realities are there, to be honest with you. And if we do not align ourselves with them, then that's why we are crying over families breaking and how the devil, how's doing who.
It's everyone else's fault but ours.
But ours.
Yeah, and especially when it's the devil.
We blame him.
That guy has seen days.
We're not absolving him entirely.
Yeah, we can't. But he also finds unprepared people.
For sure.
And
And
we
ignorant
invite him.
people.
Yeah, he cannot operate without your permission.
Yes, true.
And my permission. So
That's true.
if we are operating from a place of ignorance, that's a playground for him.
For sure. You like to talk about power dynamic in a marriage. And I think it kind of ties into roles. So as the man, when you are providing, you kind of hold the authority. Maybe it's emphasized more. So granted, the men are supposed to be leaders in their home. But when they are providing, there's an added layer of, I'm the man.
Relevant.
Yes, I'm relevant, So let's talk about the shift in power when it's the woman who is earning more. Not earning more, she's not taking care of.
She's the one
financially.
She's the one earning the bread.
The bread.
Winning the bread.
Winning the bread.
Or bringing a bigger slice.
Or bringing a bigger slice, yes.
Yes.
Because that's also a scenario that we're seeing. Let's talk about the shift that happens and what kind of emotional relational shifts that happen when you see the woman bringing in the bread, for both the woman and the man.
Yeah.
What's the woman feeling? How is she acting? What's the man feeling? And how is he acting?
So I'll piggyback what Doctor said. We are upgrading everything else but our marriage, the skills
In our
to run
marriage.
in our marriages. And I think that is probably a missing component of all the investment that people have invested in women. Invest. But if you find a man who has not gotten the same investment, you are struggling to deal with them. Yeah. But for me, there is a disconnect. These women that are breadwinners are also leading strong organizations. And these same men, it might not be their husbands in that organization, but there is another man in that organization that is just as weak, but they are leading them. So to your question around the dynamics, I think because of the swapping of the roles, we are both in uncharted territory.
Yes.
We are trying to figure out, how do I quote unquote lead when I should not be the one leading? And then is saying, how should I follow if
When
I'm
I
not
shouldn't
when
be
I
the
should not be the
one.
one who is following?
Yeah.
So I think there are very many men who are, but no, before, one step back. I think one of my friends says, where there are bad manners, let's call them out. There are men who are passively, aggressively sitting back and saying, Auntie, you said, Auntie, you think you are. Let's just call that out and say that is just unacceptable. It's there is a little that you can do. There is some that you can do. You can grow in doing a little. Doing absolutely nothing, that's just unacceptable. So let's just call out those bad manners. There are certain people who have chosen to do nothing. Certain men that have chosen to do nothing. Let's call that out. I think women are frustrated.
Yeah.
There is a huge burden. For you to bring a huge loaf of bread home, there is work that you have done. There is the strain of work. There is the stress of the job. There is the work that you actually have to go through to bring the bread. So you're not coming home fresh.
Yeah.
And when you come home, you're expecting that someone who might not have worked as much as you
Just maybe
should have been a bit more reasonable and done certain things. There is a frustration there. That you don't expect me to give 110% at work in a society where it is still predominantly male-led or biased towards men, and then come home and you're also biasing this and you've really not been doing that much. I think that's one scenario. There's that frustration. The other one is I think women don't know how to help their husbands during this time.
Yes.
I am earning so much money and my husband is not earning as much. What do I do with that? Do I help him start a business?
Okay.
What if he's not a business person?
Yeah.
So again, there is how do you help someone during this? I think there is a bit of a, I don't know how to do this in that space. The other one is how do you actually measure value? My wife, retired, stopped working about almost 10 years ago. And when she came, we were in Zambia, she came and she said, look, I've been smashing it for 14 years. Let me take a break. And I said, take a break. Watch all the Nigerian movies you want to watch. And she watched them
really did.
for 3 months. She took a break. When she got back up, then she began to panic. Because she was saying, I don't feel I add value. And I said, okay, let's have a conversation. I said, okay, let us look. Number one, where are we going?
Okay.
Now, there it is, are we going in the same direction? Just because you bring the bread. If we're not going in the same direction, it doesn't matter who brings the bigger slice.
That's true.
You're still going to have a problem. Yeah. So for me, it is an element of, if we know where we are going, we bring different types of value to the table.
True.
Yes, you're bringing the money now, but are you absolutely sure that these circumstances won't change?
You're not.
You're not. You know what happened? So treat your spouse, if you don't know where you're going, you get lost in a lot of these squabbles. So I think there is a bit of that as well. And I think men are also saying, okay, if my wife is the one who is earning, I've had women say, when my husband is bringing money on the table, I don't ask him to give me money for pads. There's money I don't want to have to ask him for.
For sure, yeah.
Even men don't want to do that. Already, no one wants to do that.
To do it.
But now for a man, it's even so much harder.
Yeah.
Because an element of identity that we are still struggling with to say, am I less of a man because I'm not bringing as much as my wife? We were speaking about Sissy Winans earlier.
Yeah.
Her husband was around.
Seated on the stage.
But you barely noticed who he was.
Yeah.
Whether he brings more money or not is a secondary issue.
Yeah.
But in terms of the impact of that ministry, you cannot take it away from what she's doing. Is he supportive or not? He's been on the road for, I don't know, maybe a month or so.
Yeah.
They had been around for a while. What does my support as a husband look like in a case where my wife is bringing more? I think there's an element of identity, loss, or crisis that men are going to be struggling with in that perspective.
Yeah.
And the last one for men is, how do I get out of this? How do I go and tell other men, my wife earns more than me, she's bringing more than me, and I need to figure out how I'm going to reinvent myself to add value. And the value I'm going to bring is I'm going to ferry the children. Yeah, for me and my wife, we agree that, you know what, I earn more money than you're probably going to earn. My bonus for 1 year, whatever job you're going to get, my bonus will probably last us for 5 years.
Wow.
So it's okay for you to just fix these quote unquote seemingly simple things. But for us, it works for us.
Okay.
But for a man, can I confidently sit with the boys and say, for me, I take the children to school, I bring them back, and it is working for us because if my wife doesn't have that peace of mind, she cannot deliver on certain things. Okay. Ultimately, where are we going?
Yeah.
And what value do I bring to help the both of us get there?
In this moment. Yeah. I think also knowing that you don't know what is going to happen next month.
Yes.
You could lose that job.
Yeah. Do I get another skill? How can I up? And I think that element of, we now need to spend more time in also learning. If it's going to be a business, let me try something and grow in it and see. It's something that men are also going to be struggling with.
For sure. Dr. Evers, you look like you came here to just sit and listen to Junior. Because he's a man.
Yeah, so that we can deal with this issue. I think when I was just reflecting on your earlier question, why are we talking about this? Maybe I should also step back and pick something. Economy. Economy in every institution is important, and the institution of marriage, money is the big thing. That's why when we are preparing couples for marriage, we have a whole conversation about money. And I always ask young people or intending couples to tell me, to share with, like for us to discuss what thoughts they have around money. And I remind them that this money thing can actually build you or kill you. Now, I've also said on this show that there is a lot of unmarried money, single money in marriage. So much single money in marriage because it is a very, very strong element in marriage. Big component that if you do not have thoughts around how you're going to manage it, it can actually mess you up. Let me remind people once again from the standpoint of psychology that money is one of the things that gives us so much pleasure and has the capacity to get us addicted. But also, even without being addicted, it can control you. You remember power? So money carries a lot of power. And anything that carries a lot of power needs management, so much management. You don't just allow it. It's like if you allow it to manage you, it's like sitting in a car in the morning and then it drives you, right? Now, God knows where you go.
Where you end up.
So that's the thing that is about money, because things that carry power, so much power, leadership gives us power. There's a way it makes us feel. All of a sudden, you've been promoted to a leadership position. You just see people like, man, I'm big. You see? So it's the same thing as money. Money gives us power. Is it wicked? No. Now, I've heard people say, well, money is the source of all evil. No, it's the love of it. The love of it. So the love of it, it just points to the need to manage it. Manage it. So once again, whenever I'm doing preparing couples or I'm talking to couples that are struggling with money, I ask them, did you think about how you're going to manage money? But I also ask, what are some of the money sins that you have seen? You see, people running, hiding money, others being driven by money. You've had people who have been messed up by so much money. Just recently, we were having a conversation with Junior. We were together when we were talking to a group of men as part of our men's mentorship program as ICFC. And I just mentioned this. When money is little, it's a problem. When it's much, it's a problem. So now, when it's not there, it's a problem. So now what? So that's why it requires a lot of skill, discipline, thought, planning, but most importantly, a relationship. Because once you don't have a relationship, money is just going to make it worse. You see? So I had written down some of the things I wanted to mention, Rachel. So starting point is, how is your relationship? Because if you have, for instance, ladies, if your husband has a price tag, you see, if your husband's value equals money. Just yesterday, I saw on WhatsApp something was being shared about this lady who married someone who had one hand, and then the guy told him, you know, I had an accident and I'm actually waiting for compensation, big amounts. So the lady's like, yeah, I love you.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yeah. You get? And then they keep moving. She's checking in. When is the compensation? How far is the process? Turns out, she goes to visit the family. She realizes the guy was born without an arm. So actually it was a lie. He didn't have an accident. In childhood, he had no arm. So there was no compensation coming. And she's like, you people help me. This guy conned me. Really? He did?
You conned yourself.
Because she was looking for money. You see? So in such a case, money equals value. So when there is no money, there's no value. There's no relationship. There's no relationship. So we can blame money as much as we can. Money is as innocent as can be. It's actually a tool to help us live better. Yeah. But now again, scripture, money in the hands of a fool can be a curse. These are not my words. This is scripture. And King Solomon, in all his wisdom, he saw, this was the richest guy, but he said, once money is not built on wisdom, on grace, on a good relationship, on growth, then it's going to mess you up. Okay, so you asked, what are the emotions or feelings in a family where the wife is the breadwinner? Now, in some cases, women have equated leadership to money. So they say, and I get these questions everywhere, equating leadership to money. So they will say, but now I'm the one earning, so is he still the leader? You see? And this has been my response, and that's it. Leadership is not equal to money, who brings in money. So just imagine how chaotic it would be. How about when children grow up, like now we have adult children, they bring in more money and they say, by the way, dad and mom dislodged, we are the leaders. That's not how God does it. The leadership structure is divine. God knew that people can't lead themselves. And so in every institution, he put the concept of leadership. And so this is a leadership structure. And this information is important for both men and women. Because also, okay, so let me first finish. Leadership is leadership. And I always equate it with, or illustrate it with, in this country, we don't live off the money from our president. No. No, people pay taxes. We have donor funds. We have, I don't know where else money comes from. And so he presides over an economy. And so once we know this, men who are also running, because I'm about to tell you about scared men and lack of confidence, and so leadership is not about money, because also men have believed that the only thing about their leadership is provide, and they don't know that provide is not limited to money. Provide leadership, provide strategic thinking to your family, provide a vision, provide emotional support, provide everything. Provide is not just money. So again, men have believed, oh, as long as I'm paying fees, paying that, paying. Someone didn't get married to you just to pay rent. You see? And so there is that confusion. But also women, because they have earned money, they are the ones providing, they are also in shock. Can you believe I'm the one who is paying the bills? And I go like, yes, I can believe it. What's wrong with
What's
that?
wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Because we are not separating money from the relationship. The relationship and leadership equal money. What a dangerous place to be. So overinflated women, confusion, all that, and they say, oh, I'm the one now, and some of them doing very bad behavior because they say, now that I'm the one paying rent or providing, buying food, I can do anything. Bad manners, all the things you're talking about. Number two, scared. Let me talk about scared and low, scared men. Scared men. This stems from the old structure of family where the man was the financial provider, and that this happened. I've ever provided a history to this, that before the World War or Industrial Revolution, you all know that men were the ones earning and working and providing for families. When World War came and men were taken to war, then women remained back and they went into industries to work. By the time men came back, the workspace had been invaded by women. And they were not only providing, they were also working, and they had been exposed to a world of work. Where we are now, it can only get worse. Right? Now, I've heard men who are saying, now we don't know, and I get these comments, I'm sure I'm going to get more on TikTok, where people are writing and saying, Mom, we are struggling, your girls are beating us because we can't manage these educated, these rich. It can only get worse. That is not going to go back, because now women are earning. But can we put this earning into perspective? Can we just understand that money, separating money from humanity, from behavior, from humanity? Because money doesn't define you. Anyone define my money, you're in trouble. Because this is a moving part. Today you have it, tomorrow you don't have it. For instance, I know so many women who are in a season where they are the ones providing for the family. And I always say this, God has provided through the provided to your for the family through you. That's how I look at it. I've had very many moments when I'm the one supporting the family, and that's okay. I consider that during that season, God is providing, is channeling blessings to my family through me. But now, unfortunately, for you, you think this is really okay. Now, I know that there are some men who have been belittled and asked, what kind of man are you? What kind of, I'm the one providing. In fact, look around. All these chairs I bought. Tables, cups,
The
plates.
school fees, I'm the
Sometimes
one who's paying.
the school fees. And you also call yourself a dad. That is dangerous. Terrible, 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 terrible. Because again, you're putting a price tag on your husband. But also, some men, it's self-infliction. I know there are some well-meaning women doing what they are supposed to do. They look like what I've mentioned, they look at themselves as channels of blessings to the family, but the man chooses to be scared. What are they supposed to do? Your wife has nothing to do. You run, they have nothing to do. And unfortunately, when a man loses confidence in that case, they can be dangerous. They become a monster. They mistreat the wife. They always want to tell them, because you're the one providing. If it is in your head, deal with it, because this woman has nothing to do. You see? But if the wife is mistreating you and putting a price tag, it's a totally different story, and it is wrong. I've told you confused men who now think they have no role. Who say me now, what is my job in this family? This road.
I'm not relevant here.
because they have also perceived money to be the leadership. I mentioned that, or to be meaning. Aggressive men who now turn violent because they have no money, so now they are going to kill the wife. And I know a number, and I'm sure any person can name a man that is really struggling with that and has turned aggressive because either they are beating the woman to give them money. You're talking about investment, supporting a wife who is earning and to support the husband. I'll tell you that some men, they can't even be supported because they are running, they are hiding, they come and say, I have a big deal, it's coming, now we're going to have money that will, or he doesn't want. He's saying, if she supports me, then it's going to be. So it's a whole dynamic. It's really, really big, and it's not a one size fits all. It is really, really broad. And I'm just sharing all these scenarios so that people can check, because otherwise we cannot just say, oh, Bambi women, you earn and you're so bad. There are some who really mean well and they want to support their partner, but their partner is either aggressive, they have self-infliction, they've chosen to believe they are not enough. This woman struggles so much and say, okay, let's do this. They take into a victim mentality. What is the woman supposed to do?
Surely.
Right?
The bread that is being earned should be a blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It should be a blessing.
Yeah.
There should not be a fight about the bread.
There shouldn't.
It is, what if you didn't have bread?
Yeah, but
more
do you know that
problems.
there's absolutely.
More problems.
But do you know that there are some women who the family is struggling when they are hiding money? Yeah, they say, me, this is my money. I'm the one earning. You're supposed to. You've heard this whole thing of his money is our money and my money
is my money.
Is my money.
It happens.
Yeah.
Both of you have pointed out the fact that the money is not the issue. There's character involved. There's the need to separate money from the relationship. Money is to be seen as a tool. The bread is the blessing. It should be treated as such. And I think to a degree, couples know that. It's somewhere there in their subconscious. But we have to acknowledge, again, like you have both put it, that role shifting, so where the woman is earning the bread for the family, creates I'm going to use dysfunction for the sake of this conversation in terms of roles and responsibilities for the husband and the wife. And I think my question, and I hope I'm speaking for the masses, is how then should I approach? Yes, there's nothing wrong with me earning the bread. It would be nice if my husband, took on that responsibility. What if that never changes? What if for the rest of our lives, I'm the one who's going to be bringing in the money? How do we begin to change the perspective, that evolving that you were both talking about, of women and men, that this dynamic is here with us? How do we begin to embrace it for the good of our marriage? How do we forge a way forward together, even though the roles have been reversed? Also speak to that woman who is saying, let me start hiding some money because I'm enabling this man. Like I'm making him lazy. He seems to be comfortable. And I think for me that says maybe there's no conversation that's happening there. But let's talk about the mindset shift for both the men and the women. How do we begin to upgrade, like we're doing with our gadgets, without it causing so much contention and strife?
Let's see, where do I start? We first spoke about this. We'll try and bucket them. I think it helps. There is this category of men who want to throw this pity party. We are not coming. That party, we are not coming.
We are not
You'll be at
coming
that
to
party
it,
alone. Where it is for me, I have suffered, No, that party we are not coming.
You're on your own.
Yeah. Those are bad manners. Get up. Do something. Make a contribution. It might not be financial
Monetary,
to start.
yeah.
And for me, like I've spoken about it before, that's why I like when I learned that it's a journey of growth. My life is a journey of growth. I am going to grow tomorrow. Maybe I am not earning. And I'll give a personal example. Many years ago, when I was married, similar situation. Started a new business and I made the decision, as a CEO, I'll be paid last.
Okay.
As a result, I am not the savior of the world, but I lay myself down. And I could not provide for my family. And it was, the weight was on my wife for a while, and it got frustrating. And she would come and ask me, boss, what is the plan? And to be honest, I did not know.
You didn't have an answer.
I did not know. There were many things I had not seen, and there's an element of what we see growing up.
Yeah.
But I did not contextualize the context of working, figuring how do you get these things, how do you get out of this hole. I didn't quite know how to do it.
Yeah.
Until one day I had reached my end. And when she asked me, I said, Madam, I don't know. So let us start from there, So that you stop asking me this question over. I had it the last 8 times you asked me. And I have come to confirm to you that I don't know. There is no plan hidden anywhere else. There's no magic wand. I don't know. Let's start from there and let's start to figure it out. How do you help me in this period? And you can help me by don't put pressure on me on 1 or 2 things. This is what I'm working on. This is my plan. I'm going to try and work on this thing. So I committed to certain things I wanted to do. How do we begin to get out of that? The expectation that that growth is going to be immediately contributing financially might be far-fetched.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. And it might lead to frustration that is unnecessary for that point. But for us, it began with the conversation. This is where we are. Our circumstances now are that for the foreseeable future, you're earning more than I am. Okay? But what did that do for me? That when the tables turned, I knew how to reciprocate.
Yes.
Because this person was there for me. You understand? But it was to what Doctor was saying about the relationship. That relationship was founded on this money is a tool for our good. If you're going to pay school fees and you have to put in an extra couple of hours, the least I can do is go to the bank and pay. You understand? I cannot say you pay the school fees, then also go and line up. You understand? So the conversation for us is a good starting point. The other thing, wives, you have very good intentions, but sometimes you're enablers.
Okay.
Your husband cannot do 10 businesses. He can't. He can't. When all 10 have failed and then he comes to open the 11th.
Oh dear.
That is not, you see, you're helping. Wives, when God created wives, as matters of principle, God created wives to help.
Yes.
Everything a wife will do has got a DNA of help. If your husband opens business number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, and you're helping him to become worse.
Okay.
There's an element where it's, look, there is a pattern here. You either don't know what you're doing, and maybe he's frustrated. I'm trying everything. Let me try everything so I can contribute because of what society is saying, whatever it is. Have the conversation. Boss, you're enough. You are still my husband. Let us figure what that journey is going to be. But for now, let us start from here. The conversation is important. That's number 1. Number 2 is that conversation should yield to where are we going?
Yes.
If you don't define that, again, you don't know what you're doing. It's okay to say, I am not going to give you money to start the 10th business because I am not sure you're doing that. But we know that we said we are planning for our children's university. At least we have put some money away to cover for that.
Yeah.
Okay? As part of that conversation, what is the value? One of the things, because we are in a society that is, you are measured by your money, the time you come to work, the time you leave work, how many, EBITDA, and all these different things. If someone in the family does not have a contribution that is measured that way, their value is low.
Yeah.
We used to do something with my wife. I said it once, professional fees, where every time I got paid outside my salary, a bonus, a commission, something above, I would pay her. It is a rule we came up with. I would pay her, she pays me, whoever had it, whether when she was still working. The professional fee is for me to sit here. If I didn't have peace of mind, I would not have come.
That's true. Yeah.
So there is a certain contribution that they make, whether it is making me breakfast, whether it's something, there is something that I do for her. So for this wife to do whatever she's doing to bring this bread, there is an environment that I enable. Again, we are putting that husband who is throwing his pity party with bad manners on the side. He's not applying to this particular one. No.
Yeah.
There is something this person is doing to contribute.
Yeah.
That value ought to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
It ought to be acknowledged. I think very many times the lack of that is everyone assuming the value I bring in the sacrifice I make with the long hours and what is the real value. Your value in just driving around the children is not so much. After all, you could have a driver who does that.
Yeah.
But the absence of that is these children who are growing begin to see that, this father of ours is not all that after all, because this is how mommy talks to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you have a driver doing that, they need to know that you acknowledge that he's still the head of the home.
Yeah.
He's still doing this. And when we take our place, let's really take our place as the heads of the home. You know, let's lead. If you don't have the money, at least provide the vision.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that for me is that conversation has to have a couple of things. But if you don't start with that conversation, everything after that becomes a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
If you're not going to principles of why are we doing this, where are we going with this, how do we treat each other?
Yeah.
When you have money, when you don't have money, what kind of person? My wife knows when I don't have money, and she can sense it from the gate. She knows how to. She says, today, guys, she even warns the children, this is how you're going to deal with your father at this time, you know, because she understands. But I've also come to a point where I have told her, look, I'm starting a new business. There are times the business is looking good, but there's no money in the pocket. There's this kind of help I need from you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is that conversation.
Yeah, yeah. And I think to your point, you've both created an environment for those conversations to happen. That vulnerability for a man to say, this is the kind of help I need because this is a season I'm experiencing. And eventually your wife can tell, even without you telling her. She can tell because I know as well when my husband doesn't have money. He's downcast, he's moody, he's talking to himself. Like trying to calculation. Sometimes I'm like, are you talking to me? He's like, no. So I know.
I'm trying to carry the one.
Right?
Yeah, trying to carry the one,
he's
but
trying
it's
to
heavy.
make calculations. The math is not mathing.
Yeah.
So I can tell not to overburden him with things that can wait.
Yeah.
You know, is it urgent? Is it a priority now? So I think couples need to create that environment where the man can actually be vulnerable in that season when he doesn't have money to say, I'm still respected as the man in this home.
And to the wives and to men, I'll say it to men, is the wives are not the enemy. Yeah?
No, they are not.
Especially when we are building. And this one I say specifically to entrepreneurs that are starting businesses. It can be a lonely, frustrating, painful journey as you're as you're building the roots and getting out of the ground. Your wife is not the enemy. When you come home and she's trying to figure out something and then she talks about a bill. In your mind, you go back to the cleaner who said what, the supplier who never delivered, the one who never cleaned, and then you take it all out on your wife, which adds to, she's not the one who is the enemy. Your wife earning more is not the enemy. True. Your wife helping is not the enemy. Your wife carrying a bit of that load doesn't make her the enemy. So again, are we on the same
Page.
team?
Yeah, that's true. It's a pertinent question. Dr. Evers?
I think that's the question. Are we on the same team? Because you see, that's why we're talking about mindset. And it can go either direction. Because, and I like, Junior, that you mentioned bad manners. I think it's so simple. Each one of us, because you can blame the other party forever, especially my brothers who now, because the math has not mathed, so then now you look for a dumping site for the frustration, and we all have frustration. But for someone to know this is our problem and do a lot of work at personal level to say, yes, the business is not working, money is not coming, my wife is still the one carrying the burden. Let me support them. Let me support them rather than stonewalling them. Then you turn yourself into a victim. You become a full-time job, for this woman already frustrated. Doing all the work, plus now you are creating an emotional project for her to deal with. So there is that place where, honestly, those bad manners are not encouraged. And I like, Junior, that you talked about turning your wife into an enemy. They become the problem because math is not working out. Now she's the problem. I've had some men who have said, oh, it's my wife cursing me, or
Oh, Lord.
saying bad prayers. Yeah. That's not true. Sometimes it's a learning point for you. You're trying to learn how to start business and to make hard decisions. You know. But then because you can't make hard decisions, things are failing, the economy is frustrating, now you turn to the wife. That's not fair. However, I just want to also say the wives, turning our partners into money machines, thinking that if he doesn't have money, then what value? Of what value? Now, Rachel, I haven't forgotten that you asked about responsibilities. I also really feel, friends, responsibilities. You see, this is what I've mentioned before. Who started those responsibilities? Where did they come from? Now, let me say something about responsibilities. We talked about it. We ran a whole episode on responsibilities, and I tried as much as possible to help us understand where some of these things come from. Responsibilities, you mentioned care. In a family, any responsibility that points to care is likely to be taken by a wife, right? By a wife. And then anything that requires leadership, thinking and all that, and risk taking, and it's likely to be started by or spearheaded by men. Now, it's not written anywhere. There's no manual that says a dad cannot take children to school, to be honest with you. These things have to be challenged, because we've carried this thing, and you hear people say, that's not my role. It's the role of the woman. That's not my role. But we have to know, friends, that if we are going to build strong marriages, we have to challenge some of the notions we have carried. Some of these stereotypes about if my only responsibility in the family is to provide money. Now that it's not there, I have no role. That's not true. There's so much to do. And I've always asked people, please help out, support each other. Now, when we have a culture of teamwork and the family responsibilities are here, but you are a team. You are a team. You're saying, how do we manage this? Okay, the resources we have are these. That's why it's important to separate ourselves from resources, the tools that are supposed to help us live better. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. You see? So those responsibilities need to be, the notions have to be challenged. Let's evaluate, where did they come from? Where did it start? Because then that's why we are having what you hear, idle men in families because they are not earning. That's not true. And also the value from all those other responsibilities, those other responsibilities. If you take children to school, if you do this on this, I'd really hate even to hear that we can attach a money value to it, because we are running as a team. So if we do not separate ourselves from money, it's going to be a very big problem. Because if money determines your value as a woman, and you feel overinflated and you're all over and you think, oh, now I have money, so I'm impossible. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You see? Or if a man thinks I have no money, then I have no value. It's an attitude issue. So if we don't drop these negative stereotypes and connect as humans, both men and women have a lot of work to do, to be honest.
And you see that just to add to that, it's a relationship issue. And two scenarios. Number one, there are so many people in this country who have got the bread on the table.
Yeah.
But they're unhappy. So whether it is the woman or the man, the bread is on the table. The issue we're discussing is bread. No?
The
bread is on the table.
bread,
They can't eat the bread because they are miserable. So the bread on the table is not really the solution.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. That's number one. Number two, these wives who are earning this bread are not fired from work.
No.
So they have the ability to be decent in a workplace, to be respected, to carry themselves a certain, you understand?
Grace.
So it is possible that you can be, and then you come home and you choose to behave in a different way. Now, I learned this from my wife many years ago, but I keep saying, don't bring your work home. I once came home, many years ago, I came home, just become a manager. My wife said something and I said, it's a no-brainer. She said, hey, boss.
Help me.
Please. That word, I think I've just remembered that word today. But she said, no. She said, I find that word could come across as insulting. Don't use it with me.
Yeah.
That is your word for your boardroom.
For your board.
Please use it in your boardroom. When you come home, please don't tell me something is a no-brainer. Because for me, it's an insult. I packed that word.
Never to use
Now, there are words that we bring from our beautiful boardrooms. And you bring home. Now, for men, it is, I know that tone. I am not talking to Evas, the wife. I am talking to Evas, the CEO. Please, let us differentiate the two things. Now, the issue is that it's the same person, different offices, but the same person.
Yes.
But I want to fight the CEO. I want to fight the CEO who is telling me that I am not efficient without I'm using the fuel. They're telling me about OPEX at home. You understand?
Oh, Lord.
You understand? So then the fight is not even about the wife. But because it's one person holding two offices, you end up getting. So I think it's an element of wives also bringing work home. So it's not about the bread. Again, the bread might be on the table. If the bread was not the issue, okay, the bread is on the table. Why are you still fighting?
Why are you still fighting? Yeah.
Should we remove the bread and see if you will be better? You understand? So how, and then what? Okay, husbands, you're now working too hard to also bring. Okay, you're going to bring a bigger loaf of bread. And then what?
And then what? Because you see, it all rises and falls on relationship.
Sure.
You see? Now, you remind me of one more thing, Rachel. Women who, during a season, you're the one providing, but then these seasons change. Tables change, tables turn. So now you have told your husband how useless they are, and how they are not, they don't measure up to anything. But then another season comes, he's the one earning and probably you're not earning. How do you manage that? How do you manage that? So do you see why we need to be very careful about replacing money with a relationship? If we are good humans, if you ask me for any advice on this, we have to be very careful about our attitudes, but we also have to be very careful about the kind of humanity that we bring to money management. Because if we are not human enough, money is going to manage us. And remember, anything you can't manage manages you. And money is not a good manager. If it manages you, you can do dumb decisions. Dumb decisions. Plus, it's a moving part. How can a moving part
control you?
control you?
You don't know where it's going to take you. Yeah, that's it's a lot to think about, especially for women and men who find themselves in scenarios like this, where I mean, she's bringing in more money,
Yeah.
and like you have both said, it rises and falls on relationship. I want us to close, and I want to ask you this question: for those who are not yet married, because money is a moving part, I feel like sometimes it's also difficult to advise people who are not yet married, because I don't know what's going to happen in the seasons of your marriage. It could be that you start out with money and then the next season you don't. And I think that many of our young people are, because they've had these very nasty stories from marriages, they're like, let me first secure the bag, you know. And I once asked a friend of mine, so this securing the bag, how much is enough for you to feel like
Now it's time to get married.
it's time to get married, and I can get in there and I will be comfortable, and no son of Adam is going to push me around.
Yes.
So what do you tell the young people who are thinking about getting married about these particular conversations and the seasons that marriage brings, where some days you have money, some days you don't, some days you have little, some days you have a lot? I feel like you've already kind of talked about it in the sense of relationship, but they don't know that because they've never been in a marriage situation.
Principles. Principles.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have those conversations, but also the principles matter. I was at a function, and a certain elderly gentleman said, before you get married, go and visit. Go and visit where your spouse is coming from.
Okay.
Go for a burial. You see the kind of people that are there. If all the people at the burial are young people, those people don't live long. He was basically saying, you understand? If you understand, he was basically saying, go and, to the example, this person who had no arm, how can you get married to someone and you don't know this person
has not had an arm since they were...
You understand? So there are elements of do some work.
Some research.
Do some research, some basics. This person, when they don't have money, if you have not been with someone long enough to see them without money, how they behave in certain, you understand, you don't know the full picture.
That's true.
Yeah. There's one thing my wife did before we got married. I thought it was interesting, but it showed me certain things. She asked me, look, how sensitive are you with money and when I am paying the bill?
Oh,
if we go out and I take you out, yes. Okay. If there's a problem, I can slip you my wallet under the table so that
and
you make the payment. You understand? And it was an honest conversation. And she was serious about it. She said, if this is an issue, I have money. I have a bit of money now. Tomorrow you might have, but if I've taken you out, are you going to have a problem with me putting the bill and paying it?
Fair question.
There are times where I have taken you out, but there are times where I know you don't have money, so I'm going to pay. Those two things hit differently as an individual. When you're picking the bill and I know I have no money in my pocket, it's different from you took me out and you're paying the same bill.
It's different, yeah.
So she asked me, is this a problem? Do I need to? I don't have a problem because the way I care about you, may I want to be with you. So if this is a problem, I don't have a problem slipping you my wallet, or I give you the wallet before we come so that you make the payment if it's going to make you feel better.
Oh, Lord.
You understand? So I was like, okay, we have had this conversation. And I said, look, me, I am okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. I also saw how my parents managed money.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it has an element. So for whoever it has been bad through, your children see how you deal with money and how you treat each other during that time or you're dealing with money. Yeah. I saw how my dad treated my mom when he had money and she didn't. I saw how my mom treated my dad when she didn't. I saw different seasons, and today I have got absolutely no doubt that my father cannot hide 1 cent from my mother. Mom, I have got no doubt that my mother can hide 1 cent from. Now, for me, God has been merciful to me. I cannot take that away. But I saw. So when I got into my marriage, I knew that I might have money today, my wife might have money tomorrow, but it is ours.
It is ours, yes.
You know? Yeah. So have that conversation. If you've not had that conversation, it's an analogy I like to use. Marriage is like an island. If you didn't take it there, you won't find it there.
Not there.
You'll probably have to build it while you're there, but you won't find it there.
Yeah.
So have the conversations. and be honest about them. Before you get married, how do you deal with money? If you don't have money, does this person do business? And you can see, there are things you cannot hide.
Yeah.
You just need to pay attention to them. I think sometimes when we're getting married, we're so overshadowed by the emotion that we don't pay attention to certain details. And I keep telling people, you're in this marriage and you're saying your spouse, but this is your choice. It's not my choice.
You're the one who chose.
Yes, you're the one who chose. So you deal with your choice.
Yes.
Help your choice. Help your choice. Yes.
If the choice doesn't want to be helped.
You work with them.
you
You know,
work
which
with
comes back to your point around responsibility.
Yeah.
If among all the people in the world, this is the person I chose, let that responsibility start from there. Help the person to move forward. So be very critical and be very clear about your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel, probably I would, thank you, Junior, I would amplify the point on have conversation. Because one of the things I've seen, again, in our work, Junior, is that people they date for 10 years and they only discuss how Rachel has nice eyes, how beautiful top, how I miss you, how I didn't sleep 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, and they are not having the right conversations. You see, every time marriages are struggling and I'm supporting couples, I say, what kind of conversations did you have around this? We don't. That's why we encourage people, please really have this, talk about money. Talk about money. That's a monster. If you do not talk about it, it's just going to come and cover you. So what you're talking about, and be honest, and be ready to discuss very tough conversations, because how are we going to manage money? I'm earning, you're not earning, or both of us are earning. How are we going to manage money? How, if you lose a job, is it okay for me to pay? As I said, some women really mean well, but now the other party wasn't ready for some of the scenarios, because life is going to happen and things are going to change. And so we can't operate in a world we think it's going to be just the same and the same and the same. So it is important for young people to know that they need to have that conversation. Don't hold back and say, that one I'll not talk about it. It's going to spoil our mood. Don't run your relationship on mood. You'd rather spoil the mood, have conflict, be uncomfortable, and then say. That's number one. Number two, I think it's the readiness to isolate money from the relationship, because this happens all the time. You hear people, and Rachel, the person that talked to you and said, let me first have my money. I mentioned that money gives us power. And there's nothing wrong with women having money, men having money. It's important for us to earn. In fact, matter of fact, I encourage women to earn. I wouldn't imagine myself not having money. It's important. I do so much with money to support the family, to support my children, to support we need money. It's a tool. It's good. But the attitude you attach on money is the problem. So it's okay for you to have money, but please know that relationship is important. Thirdly, money has to be married. The attitude of having transparency, financial transparency is a decision. It's a choice. Because I tell people, if you can share your DNA, what is money? And I know so many women who are hiding money, investing alone, hiding this, hiding that. And sometimes we behave like we have a contract with God regarding who is going first. Seriously,
Yes.
every time I'm doing a couple counseling, and I ask couples to look at, rather spouses to look at each other, and I say, between the two of you, who do you think is going first? Then the reality hits. They're like, I don't know. We don't know. Now, supposing you're hiding properties and you go first, That's why banks are stranded with people's secret accounts, money stuck in the bank, buildings. Now you go and then there's no one. And sometimes we say, for my children. But you see, the children are 2 years. I mean, like so many reasons we use to validate our bad manners. And I'm aware that sometimes women hide these things as a matter of can't help, but that's a conversation for another time. And I think you need to have a conversation with a therapist to see how to navigate this. But in principle, it's a very dangerous behavior where people get into marriage ready to hide money, with whichever justification, culture, kasende sente yechikazi, and kasende, they call it kamane, but you're hiding billions and you call it kamane. Kamane. The problem is attitude. Yeah, it's the attitude you attach to these money. So we have to be very careful, because if you get into marriage ready to hide money, I guarantee you'll be facilitated by all the evil spirits to hide money. They will just they will just be deployed to support you.
Yeah.
So the attitude we have, because if you have an attitude of God blessing the family through me and all, and your husband could have weaknesses here, but you're also ready to support them. If you have that, again, heaven is going to deploy all the support you need to be able to be a blessing to the family. But if you get in with negativity, it's going to be reinforced.
Yeah. I think this conversation presents an opportunity to ask yourself why I behave a certain way when, say, a conversation around money is brought up. If you're in a scenario like this and say you're earning the money and somehow your husband right now, he irritates you, he pisses you off, is it really about your husband or is it your attitude towards money? And I think the hallmark of maturity is asking myself, why do I feel the need to hide?
Yeah.
Especially if there's no plain reason, like you have a husband who is not necessarily wasteful, he's not even just seated on his behind, not doing anything. You can see he's trying to add value.
He's struggling.
But you feel the need to, I want to hide, or, I feel like as a person, you should be asking yourself, why do I react like this towards money?
That's true.
And that's a conversation you need to have internally with yourself, because then that impacts how you show up in the marriage when those conversations are being had. So thank you both. Unless you have parting shots, maybe we can bring this to a close.
It boils down to the two of you.
Yeah.
The reason why those conversations are happening is you really want to connect with this person. If they came and put any amount of money in front of you, it won't solve the problem that you're dealing with as a couple. So I think it starts there. For men, let's make the decision. Your wife makes more money than you. Yeah, tough. Yeah, it's not even tough. Yeah, deal with it. Let's get up and let's start. Those are resources that you have as a family. You can do that. Let's not sit back in the corner and start sulking like little kids that we cannot do anything and become passive aggressive. It doesn't change the circumstances, doesn't make them any better, won't get you to where you're going any faster.
For sure.
Yeah. And let's take that responsibility. The back ends with the couple.
The couple, yeah.
The back ends with you.
It does. The both of you. Doctor?
Maybe my parting shots. Money is a tool. Let's always remind ourselves that money is a tool meant to help us facilitate life. But if money becomes a curse, if it's the source of pain, then that blessing has sorrow added. That's number one. Number two, maybe to tell my sisters that it's okay, it's normal. It's normal for you to win the bread. Yeah. What's wrong with that? The world has opened us to opportunities to earn and be a blessing. And these resources are not supposed to be for self-celebration but also mistreating your partner. That's not what it's supposed to be. For you to introduce don't you know now and it doesn't make you the head.
It
Earning
doesn't.
money, if you're the breadwinner, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden now things have changed and now you're the head of the family. Headship is separated from money. So please still respect your partner when you're earning. And I can't leave this place without talking to my brothers as well. If your wife earning is a problem, then sorry. These are things you have nothing to do. Don't mistreat your wife because she's the breadwinner. She has a whole huge responsibility to earn the bread. She needs good mental stature to be able to support the family, to work and make sure that she can function. Now, don't create secondary stress by doing the bad manners that Junior was talking about and then holding her hostage. Because some men can hold their partners hostage because they are earning now. No. So we just need to relax. I guess to conclude it, Rachel, I think I would ask everyone, relax. Relax. Money can be earned, money comes, money goes.
Yeah.
And money is supposed to make us happy. So if your happiness cannot be drawn from this tool that has come, instead you're getting pain, then the in between, the problem is the attitude, the management, the way you treat each other. Relationship is very important.
Yeah.
And just one thing, I think for me, it would be a closing question. If the tables turned, would you accept the treatment from your spouse that you're giving?
That's true.
Okay.
No, but they will say.
He needs to ask that question while looking at them. Yes. Look at them and tell
Who are
them.
you asking, Junior?
Yes, actually. If the way you're treating your spouse with money today, if the circumstances were turned around, would you willingly, gladly, and happily receive the same treatment? If the answer to your question is yes, well done.
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then do
You
something
have your
about
work
it.
cut out
True.
for
Do
you.
something about it.
True.
Yeah.
100%.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you were perfect for this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Evers, as well, for enlightening us on this money conversation. I hope that you have picked something, especially on the value of your relationship as opposed to the value of money. Because money is a tool, like we have said, it's here today, tomorrow it is gone. So let's invest in what is actually more beneficial, which is your relationship. Thank you for watching. This is Reality Check. If you are just stumbling across this channel, please subscribe and join our family, and of course share this episode with a friend. Leave us a comment. We'll get back to you or hear back from you next week with another episode. Until then, stay well and stay healthy.